So big win here by the Miami Heat, beating the Indiana Pacers. Excuse me. For the first time this season, they'd lost the last two in South Florida against the Pacers. Before we get started, though, before we dive into the analysis and the recap, I'd really appreciate if you dropped a quick like and a sub. That would really help my channel grow. I'd really appreciate that. If you want to check out my other channel, that will be in the link down below in the description. That's ACB Sports. It's my football channel. But nonetheless, let's dive right in here. I mean, what were the main storylines? So, I mean, for the Heat, it's all about getting back to winning. They were struggling the past few weeks and getting some wins, and that was really costing them some seeding in the division. They were at one point fourth in the division, and then they've moved down a little bit. But nonetheless, this is a good win, and what it means is winning games is exactly what the Heat need to do to close out this season. They're in the thick of the playoff race. They're going to be playing again tomorrow night against the Warriors. But they're going to get reinforcements too. I mean, we haven't seen Victor Oladipo yet, but it's the Heat finding ways to win in ways that's not always scoring. And the Heat have struggled scoring the ball. Consistently the past few games, they have been well under 100 points. And that's something that, is coming from their lack of ability to make shots. I mean, we see guys struggling from outside. In today's game, we saw Tyler Herro and Duncan Robinson really do a good job shooting the three ball. And that's kind of what allowed the Heat to win, especially down the stretch, take the lead and then continue. But it's really the strong defensive game. And I think that all stems from, bringing guys like Trevor Ariza, having guys like Andre Iguodala on the roster, Bam Adebayo, Jimmy Butler, and you're going to bring in Victor Oladipo. He's probably going to play tomorrow night against Golden State, so that's going to be big. But, for the Pacers caused problems for Miami. And I think, to be honest, the Pacers, I don't think they're a better team than Miami, but they can outplay Miami. And the reason they can outplay Miami is they're bigger than Miami. They out-rebounded the Heat tonight. Sabonis as well as Myles Turner are absolutely massive on the glass in the paint for that Pacers team. But the thing that the Miami Heat did really well today was really utilizing their ability to get to the paint when guys like Sabonis weren't on the floor, and especially when guys like Myles Turner wasn't on the floor. Myles Turner is the best shot blocker in the NBA statistically, so the Heat really were able to get to the paint and really attack the paint, getting to the glass, getting to the rim, making sure to get those easy buckets when Myles Turner wasn't in the game, especially when Myles Turner, because, I mean, he had foul trouble all the night. I mean, he sat through most of that third quarter and most of the fourth quarter because he was at 5 fouls with like 6 or so minutes left in the third. So overall, I think that maybe the Pacers didn't really manage his time well, manage his fouls. He got into some foul trouble. But even, a guy like Sabonis, he really changes the game. This is a different Pacers team than the team that Heat faced last season, right, in the playoffs. And the Heat swept them in the playoffs last season, took them in the first round of the playoffs and beat them 4-0, right? But this is a team without TJ Warren right now. It's a team without Victor Oladipo, obviously. And it's a team that uses their speed, uses their quickness in the transition game, and uses their size and their length and their really good three-point shooting to beat you. And that's what the Pacers have done to Miami all year. Remember that they shot a lot of threes back in Miami when they played the Heat a couple of weeks ago, and I think they made like a Pacer high amount of threes. I think they hit 25 threes in one of those games, hit 15 in another. Tonight they were just about 30%, I think just under 30% from downtown. But nonetheless, they can heat up quickly. Guys like TJ McConnell, who had a 3 in tonight's game. He's a really good facilitator for them, and he can get guys like McDermott, Holiday, as well as Sabonis even, not Sabonis, Myles Turner rather, hitting those three balls. So they're a team that can hit a lot of threes in a hurry. And another guy to watch for them is Karis LeVert. But I thought the Heat, did a good job. They're the way they're going to win is they're not going to outshoot you anymore. This is not the Heat team from last year with Jay Crowder, Tyler Herro making clutch shots, and Duncan Robinson, consistently hitting those threes. And Duncan Robinson has been consistently hitting those threes of late. But nonetheless, I still think that this is a Heat team that needs to rely on their defense, number one, and most importantly, their defense. Because after all, at the end of the day, this is a Heat team that relies on their defense to win you games, and that's the most important thing for them, because they're going to be physical with you, but at the end of the day, they've been struggling shooting the ball, they've been struggling scoring. But when the Heat got into the paint, I thought that they did a really good job. Another thing that I thought really allowed them to excel in tonight's game was their ability to go hard to the basket and then get another cutter to the basket too for you to dump off. And we saw a few of those plays. We saw Tyler Herro. He's really good at getting to the rim and then passing that ball off. Duncan Robinson had an assist like that. But overall, I thought the Heat, they need to continue getting to the rack because the threes aren't going down at the percentage that we typically like to see from them. Overall, I think the Heat shot just above 40% tonight. and about 32% from downtown. And that's not a great number for Miami. I think that they can get closer to 36, 37% from downtown. But overall, I mean, this is a team that needs to continue playing good defense. It's what they're going to, continue having to do because they're not really scoring the ball efficiently and effectively right now. So as long as they keep on playing hard-nosed defense and bringing Victor Oladipo is definitely going to help with that. Having Trevor Ariza, Andre Iguodala, all those guys, really defense-oriented players, that makes a lot of sense for Miami, and that's really what's going to allow them to be really big in a lot of these games. Another thing for them is they just need to rely on their star power too. They need to give Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo the ball. They need to get to the rack. They need to make plays. I thought Bam was good tonight. I thought Butler could have been a little bit more aggressive. So it's all about being aggressive. It's all about playing good defense, and eventually the Heat will start making their shots. But tonight was a big win, beating a Pacers team that had won the last two against Miami. So once again, big win for Miami here. Tough loss for the Pacers in a very close Eastern Conference. But the Heat need to continue building the momentum, and I think that this was a tough, gritty win that they won tonight. They beat a very solid Knicks team just a few nights ago. So two back-to-back tough wins that they got, playing defense, scoring timely buckets, and getting the production that they needed. And reinforcements will come are coming soon for this Miami team. Oladipo will probably play tomorrow night. We'll see about Kendrick Nunn. But overall, I think this Heat team can only go up from here. They need to start making shots, but with good defense and with hard work, that will happen. So big win here for Miami, beating the Indiana Pacers 90-87.